Hello everyone, this is APODino. You're watching my latest OTSL game. This is against David.Amidon, who's significantly higher than me, and I'm 1-6 in the OTSL. So I'm in desperate need of a win, and this is going to be one tough opponent. So let's take a look at the opening hand here. This is not a great opening hand. I do not have a 4-op card. I have 2 scoring cards. I do have IP War, which is going to help in the Middle East. And if I'm Red Scare Purged, I'm in big trouble against Blockade. So I'm going to open 4-4-2. And I'm probably going to headline Special Relationship with nothing better to headline and throw 1 into France. With nothing... Actually, no, I'm going to headline Middle East. I'm going to headline Middle East. And then we can worry about everything else. So just as long as I don't run into Nasser, I'll be good. And I'm going to hope that I don't get purged here. The only problematic card in this hand is Socialist Governments, and that's easy enough to space. IP War is nice. It's an insurance policy with Pakistan. And he headlines Cambridge 5, so he's going to get a free op in Asia. He's going to be aware of that. And one thing is I cannot get into an ops war for South Korea, so that's going to be a problem. So now with me not getting purged, I'm going to hold Socialist Governments for Blockade. With that in mind, I may have to ops UN intervention. So I'm just waiting for him on the Cambridge 5 op. I'm going to get a quick 4 VP off the Middle East headline. So the main priorities this turn, he knows I've got Asia, so Asia's going to be heavily played into. I may have to punt Asia early in the turn before I can really get domination in Asia. Especially if he holds either decall or Vietnam revolts. I suspect if he held Vietnam, he would have headlined it, so I don't think he's got Vietnam revolts, but there's a good possibility he's got decall. And he throws the op into Malaysia. That makes sense. NATO, and this is going to be for ops, so he's going to plan to Thailand right away and overprotect it. Yeah, so he makes that play. And the question I have is, do I punt Asia for 2 immediately before he could score it for Dom, or do I make a play into Pakistan, or do I try to coup Thailand? Of course, if I coup Thailand, he can flip it with the China card. And he can always take South Korea and Malaysia for Dom. So I think I'm going to punt Asia right now for -2. And he makes a comment. He should have probably Asia domed right away, so he allowed me to punt the Asia scoring card before he was able to do that. So the only unscored region is Europe. And this guy's very chatty. I've never played this guy before, and he's very chatty, so I like it. And I like the fact that he's giving you this insight into the chat. So in a way, you're getting my perspective from the game, but with the chat, he's giving you some insights into his thinking too. And he had another 4-up card, U.S.-Japan, so coup of Iran. Oh, he's making the Italy coup. And he hits it, but he's going to give me Japan. So now I've got to overprotect Italy. As I said, I could counter coup. I could coup Thailand here. But he has access into Italy, and I want to make sure that's overprotected. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a standard play. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw 2 into Pakistan, 1 into Italy. If he coups Pakistan, I'll IP war. And he played NATO, so special relationship is probably just going to be ops this turn. I'm going to hold IP war until he either coups Pakistan, which appears to be happening right now. Now here's the 50-50, and I hit. Okay, so Western Asia's off to a good start. So this turn, despite not having a lot of ops, it's actually worked out pretty well. He did get Thailand, but his access to Western Asia is lacking, and unless he coups Iran here. If he coups Iran, the play is going to be to play. And he hits the coup. I will overprotect Pakistan to prevent a flip with the China card. And if he doesn't hit an Iran coup, then I'll play into Lebanon and Egypt immediately. Suez, so Asia Dom makes sense. So that being said, we will take independent reds. I'm going to play 1 into Pakistan and 1 into Lebanon. I'm not worried about. I know I'm not going to be able to win an ops war in South Korea, so. And because I have Pakistan, I can play into India later. Defectors coup, Lebanon. Okay. I'm going to counter coup, just so I can keep access. Counter coup. Then depending on what happens here, I'm either... The plan is that if Lebanon is not... Well, regardless of what he does at De Gaulle, for ops, wow. He breaks West Germany, so... Interesting use of De Gaulle, so... That being said, we will repair West Germany, play one into France, and one into Egypt.
The seeds of totalitarian regimes are nurtured by misery and want.
Okay, so I've got Red Scare. I've drawn Decall, which is going to go to space. Nasser I'm going to have to deal with later. Truman will help me in Europe, especially with the West Germany situation. 5-year plan, not really a big deal. East European unrest, Formosa. So cards I'm worried about in his hand are D-Stall, Vietnam Revolts, although that's not really a big deal. So I think I'm going to purge here. I'm going to hold 5-year plan for blockade. That's the other card I'm worried about. Purge. Me holding Nasser means I'll be able to safely play into Libya before I have to event Nasser, and I might even hold Nasser. Although, probably be better to event Nasser this turn. That way I can space Decall turn 3. CNS, that makes sense. And there's only the only 4 cards left in the deck are Nuclear Test Ban, and Marshall Plan. So now I would expect a coup of Pakistan here with the DEFCON at 4, which is going to cause me problems in Asia, although he is under Red Scare, so he may not have a good card to do it. And his comment strongly suggests that he holds a Marshall Plan. The other thing I got to worry about too is I do have to overprotect Pakistan because he does have the China card play in his back pocket. China card. And he's just going to dump CIA, so I'm going to actually... So he's got Vietnam. D-Stall is going to be the problem card to deal with later in the turn. Comic-Con, duck and cover, containment, Vietnam. So he does not have a 4-up card, so he's got 2-up cards. I'm going to go ahead and coup Iraq with the 1-up just to or do I want to prevent that, or do I just want to overprotect Pakistan? I have plenty of ops to overprotect Pakistan, so I'm going to coup to drop DEFCON. And I roll a 6 and hit it. One up coup into Panama. And he misses. So... That being said, we're going to overprotect Pakistan to guard against the China card play. And I'm going to take France. He cannot play duck and cover either, so that he can't play duck and cover. Containment's going to be a turn 7 play, so he's gonna event Romanian to prevent Dom. Makes perfect sense. So, overprotect France and... I'm going to play to Libya now. I do want to expand out from Africa because he's going to event D-Stall at some point. I might just ops Truman this turn too to prevent to keep it in the deck. D-Stall, of course, is going to go for the event here. That was the reason he evented Romanian. Yep, makes sense. So South America is going to be a problem later in the game, and I'm not worried about that yet. So I'm going to play into Libya now because I'm going to have to give him Nasser later in the turn. I'm not going to play into Algeria just yet because I don't want to give him a coup target on turn, an extra coup target on turn 3. So I think I'm just going to play into India. I do. So he's going to space duck and cover. I do not want to space decall just yet, so I'm going to place the 1-up from here into India. And he did not reveal blockade, so actually 5-year plan's safe to play. That's a perfectly safe play there. So I'm going to take India. So I'm going to take India. Take Panama. I'll throw one into Egypt, knowing I'm going to have to event Nasser, and that way I can event and repair Nasser. So he's got So at this point, Asia's going to be a wash. We're in great shape in the Middle East, and Europe's looking pretty good. Containment, so he establishes presence and wisely overprotects North Korea. So we're going to event Nasser. I'm just going to put 2 back into Egypt. Make him address that. Okay, Arab-Israeli War, blockade, and Korean War. So he's got European scoring. So he's got European scoring, Marshall Plan, and Korean War. and block and Comic-Con. So I don't have a good headline here. And I have no way to actually punt blockade on this turn, so I'm going to have to hold blockade. He's also got nuclear test ban, so he's got 2 more 4-op cards, unfortunately. So we're going to have to headline Olympic Games here with no better headline. That's unfortunate. So I hit that. Now he knows I've got Truman, so if he makes a play into France, and he's just gonna throw all ops into France, and I can't ops war him for France, so he's gonna get it for even, which is a little unfortunate, but so the question here is, do I coup Angola and deny him a coup elsewhere? And I don't have to coup Angola, but I do want to coup somewhere because I don't want to. So I might just coup. You know what? I will coup Angola, and the problem is he's got a 4-op card, and it is Marshall Plan though. So if he gives me I expect he's gonna get Europe for even. So I'm not gonna overly worry about France too much, especially since I can't ops war him. So I do flip Angola. I'm gonna have problems in South America later, but he's gonna be forced to play into Algeria, and I'm trying to actually shore up a region for myself, and he knows I've got decall, and so I'm gonna be able to space decall, and he's gonna have a real hard time with Africa later on. I eventually want to play into Mexico this turn too. He's got Fidel, so I expect him to invent Fidel at some point this turn. He's also got he does have Marshall Plan. So let's see, Cambridge 5 into Algeria. That is sensible. So with that in mind, I'm going to take Egypt and I'm going to take Mexico. So the plan this turn is I'm going to have to give him an AI War and Korean War. I'm going to have to space decall and play Truman. So my hold card's going to be Blockade. Yeah, that was unfortunate that he drew De Gaulle on the reshuffle, because Europe was in good shape, and now now Europe's even, and furthermore, I've got to eventually guard against brush wars. So he's gonna he redrew defectors, so he's gonna take Korea. Not much I can do about that. So I'm gonna shore up Iraq to further guard against Muslim revolution in the late war. So now, unfortunately, I've got to give him Korean War for his mill ops. Okay. I don't know if he's going to space Marshall or just give me Marshall and then use Marshall for 4-ups. Given the Europe board at the moment, I would be surprised if he actually gave me Marshall. But I would look for him to event Fidel at some point. And he's got to drop Europe scoring at some point. Matter of fact, he's going to use Fidel for ops. So he overprotects France and plays into Israel. The threat with Israel, of course, is that he's just going to marshal. He overprotected France. That tells me he wants to Marshall Plan into Israel to try to get something there. So what we're going to do instead, I'm just going to trigger AI War. He knows I've got that too. And then we're going to throw one into Israel to guard against that play, and then one into Iraq. Now Europe drops for +1, -1, that's okay. So that being said, I'm now going to space decall. Space decall. Space decall.
Sobre la cuestión acerca de si la lucha armada es el único camino para la liberación, lo que puedo responder,
Vietnam revolts for influence.
por lo menos en las condiciones de nuestro país,
He's just gonna.
no había otro
He overprotected Venezuela wisely to guard against the VOA play, and then put one into Argentina. So that being said, I'm going to throw the 1-up into Zaire. And coming out of the early war, we're up 5, so it's not a bad-looking board. South America is a problem, and Southeast Asia is also a problem. Let's take a look here. Again, another Opslight hand. Duck and cover's nice, although I don't think I want to event it. Arms race is good. I may have to punt South America early before he gets domed. I'm actually glad I drew this now. Camp David's nice. Liberation theology is not good. South African unrest is problematic. And again, I don't have a 3-op to deal with blockade. So I have a very obsolete hand. But I'm not going to event South America scoring because he might headline Hunter or something. So I think the headline here might just be Camp David. I don't really have a lot of things to use. I'm going to probably have to ops arms race. I'm going to have to liberation theology is a problem. South African arrest is a problem, and blockade's still a problem. So I think Camp David's the headline here. One other thing too is OAS can help, and I'm under purge, so this is going to really be bad. I have big problems this turn. And how I learned coup Panama, or he's going Zaire. Okay, that makes sense. And I'm going to punt South America. Actually, no, we're not going to do that just yet. God, I have a lot of problems this turn. A lot of problems. See, I'd like to event OAS, but I also know that I'm not very ops deficient this hand. So I am just going to punt South America before that, because that's not going to get any better. That's not going to get any better. And actually, I made a mistake there. I should have. And he's got Middle East, so. Wow. He had to event Middle East there. Okay. That being said, I'm now going to overprotect Angola. So one into Angola to guard against the flip. Even though I'm going to have to event South Africa and Rust later on the turn anyways. And then I'm going to take the Philippines. And realistically, we're just trying to just get through this turn unharmed. So he's going to play the China card. Oh dear. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got to respond to that threat. I've got to respond to that. That's a nice play by him. Flower power, which I figured he had another 4 up. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to give him that.
Our goal is not the victory of might, but the vindication of right. Not peace at the expense of freedom.
And I cannot even space anything this turn.
Here in this hemisphere. And we hope
So
God willing, that goal will be achieved.
he's going to play one into Burma here, just because of Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia. My hope is that I can draw a brush war in Brush War Thailand.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do.
And I'm not going to get mill ups this turn because I don't expect a non-battleground play here. Well, there's Marshall finally. We knew he had that too. So, Greece, Spain, Canada, Turkey, Italy, West Germany, and the UK. I'm going to have to give him South African, unfortunately. I'm just going to have to event and repair that. That's very unfortunate. And now he can, if he can flip it with a 3-op. And he's gonna put. He had Asia, so that's why he made that play. That's well played on his part. I'm gonna have to give him liberation theology as well. Because I have no way to deal with blockade right now. And the fact that I'm up 1 with him drawing all the 4-op cards and him being a much better player than I am is actually miraculous in and of itself. And I really hate to give him liberation theology, especially with Fidel gone, but Obviously, blockade's very problematic, and yep. So I'm just going to take Panama. I can realign them out of Mexico later. And then turn 7, I'm going to event OAS and create a threat in South America. Summit. So where's the one up going there? In Mexico, that makes sense. So we will event OAS. And one into Argentina and one into Brazil to break it. So do I play into Brazil or where he can coup me out, or do I play into Guatemala and set up a real line? I'll play into Guatemala and set up a real line. Alright, so that was a disaster hand that turn 4. This is much better. I got puppets, I got alliance, which could deal with. Central America's good. I don't want a puppet yet because that'll give me access to Nigeria. I think the headline here is one small step, all things being equal. I have Warsaw Pact, so I can finally ditch blockade. So given the space race, I think I'm just going to headline one small step here, because I want to use all my ops for other things. And also, if he's got problematic cards of mine, he can only space once. So I'm worried. Cards I'm worried about seeing from him are Junta and Brush War. Those are unaccounted for. Muslim Revolution would be slightly annoying at this point. Allende would be a little annoying with the Chile situation. Actually, Latin America Death Squad's okay. One small step. I do want to event puppets at some point. And what I might do with puppets is Cameroon, Zimbabwe to set up a real line of Zaire. I do have I can ABM Treaty Coup. Although with Latin America Death Squads, he's going to give me Shuttle, which is nice. He hits Argentina, so that's a little unfortunate. So Alliance is not going to be worth anything. Central's 4 points. Before I get too greedy, I'm just going to drop it here. Before I get too greedy, I'm just going to drop it here. He has no way to access Nigeria, so puppets is going to be very powerful there. I'll just play into Nigeria with puppets. And he's going to 3-op socialist, take Chile probably. Okay, took South Africa. So that's South America. The first thing I need to do is protect Angola against a flip. Before I vent ABM, so play there. And I play Greece and Spain to guard against brush war. Then I'm going to see if he drops Africa here. Then I'm going to vent ABM. So next, so he's going to give me 2 VP with the China card. Oh. Okay, well. He's got Africa. I should have puppeted his turn ago, but that's a classic play there. Ivory Coast to preserve access. And then I'll throw one into Vietnam to help with Southeast Asia a little bit. Yeah, he had Africa and... Alright. Well, this is turning out to be a very competitive game. I'm going to hold ABM. Do I want to waste that many ops on a coup, though? The Portuguese Empire would be an event and repair. Actually, that might space that. Finally can ditch blockade. So so the only so every region's been scored except Southeast Asia.
Y esa parece ser la situación también en muchos otros países de Asia y de África.
Until now. So that's 3 for him. This is a very close game. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's got country count unless I can flip something. Yep. Okay, so let's space Portuguese Empire. Space Portuguese Empire. Spacing Bear Trap. And I think the play is going to be a turn 7 ABM treaty coup of Argentina. So I think we're going to go for some real lines here. Okay, there's that. Zaire +1. No. Go for some real lines. Oh, perfect. That's unfortunate. Because I have nothing that I want to I do not want to discard ABM treaty because I'm going to coup Argentina next turn with it. Not seen Voice of America, not seen Grain Sales, I've not seen Junta, and I've not seen Brush War. So there's a lot of good cards I have not seen. I also have not seen Lone Gunman.
Our goal is not the victory of might, but the vindication of right. Not peace at the
And Astronaut, is he just going to flip Nigeria here?
Nigeria. Here in this hemisphere, and we hope around the world. God willing.
Or is he going to try to realign me out of Angola? I also have not seen CRG either, so there's a lot of good blue cards that we have not seen. Okay, so into Chile to take control, so we'll flip Argentina. Okay, so we've drawn CRG is nice, Usuri, cultural. Quagmire and Muslim Revolution are problematic. Suez really isn't an issue at the moment. Special's nice. Allende's very playable. But grain sales the obvious headline here. And I'm hoping that I don't get missile envied, but if, with We Will Bury You not accounted for, if he does not have We Will Bury You, he will not missile envy me. He will not missile. Brezhnev, okay.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you.
Tell you, NORAD is tempting given the fact that I can ditch Quagmire next turn and he'd have to deal with it the rest of the game. That being said, though, given the board, I've got to make a coup with NORAD here, and I think I take a shot at Brazil here. Brazil. And it's a little unfortunate, but okay. I'm going to event CRG at some point. I'm probably going to give him Cultural and then event Usuri right away. Although I could event Usuri and then flip Thailand with the China card as well. Quagmire's going to space. Suez is not an event that I'm overly worried about. Colonial Rearguards is going to help with the Africa situation a little bit. And it's also going to help me over in Asia. So Willie, okay. Back into Brazil, I assume. And then he plays into Peru. Okay. Overprotect Nigeria. One into Zimbabwe. Break out Angola. Then I'll sneak one into Thailand to threaten, because Usuri's not accounted for, so he's got to worry about Usuri as well. He's got to worry about Usuri. If he doesn't address Angola, I'm going to take it with Suez. Cards that I'm worried that I have not seen either Brush War or Junta, and those two cards are problematic. We haven't seen Shay. So, now there's We Will Bury You. Okay. Okay. Oh, no, I want to event to Surrey. And he's got to address that. 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 So now I'm going to play the China card. I'm going to probably play the China card before cultural now that I've evented to Surrey. And he's going to give me a mitt. So if he puts, he's going to wisely put both back. Oh yeah, that's right, he had evented Brezhnev, so let's see. So I'm going to give him U2, give up U2. Give him NATO. NATO. Because I don't want him to have a 4 up. And I'm going to give a Brush War 2 so that he doesn't draw it. So there's that. Do I want to still fight for the question is, do I want to still fight for Thailand with the China card? I mean, I made him address that with the Asia play, so so 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he. So 200 Botswana. Set up a real line of South Africa. Probably not the best use of ops, but I know he doesn't have Brush War, so the only card in this, there's Shea. Yep, that was the worry. Yep, and I've got to address that. Of course. So I'm in trouble in Africa. South America could flip depending on what happens on turn 7. Central's good. Middle East is good. Europe and Asia is this is still a pretty even game depending on how the late war plays out. kitchen debates, and I don't think I can poke him. Yep, he's got a realign there set up, so I'm going to coup Uruguay to prevent Argentina from getting realigned. Here's a question. I want to give him the China card. Do I want to self Quagmire? I don't think I want to self Quagmire, but I'm going to have to play the China card at some point this turn, so. I'm going to give him Suez here. Yeah, he could take Israel, but I'm going to be able to ditch Muslims, so it's not really that big a deal. And the reason for that coup is because otherwise he would be able to realign me out of Argentina. So he spaces nuclear subs. And let's see. Take Uruguay and flip Zimbabwe. Create a little pressure in Africa. I need to play this guy more often because this guy's doing a lot of the commentary for me, so I don't have to do the commentary. It's really good. Learning a lot from this game. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to be able to hold Muslim and Quagmire till turn 7. So what that basically means is I'm not going to have to worry about either card affecting me in the late war. So the Middle East is pretty locked down. So he's going to 5-year plan something. He had nothing to 5-year plan. We'll give him the VP. And then tap overprotect Libya. Saharan states to even up country count. Okay, so turn 7. Unfortunately, I've drawn lone gunman, but I can ditch lone gunman.
The times are on the side of peace.
So we're gonna headline the Pope. OPEC's OPEC's a 1 VP card here. The problem is he's got Junta. He's got Junta. He's got Voice of America, which are two problematic cards. So I'm gonna have to UNI lone gunman. I'm gonna have to UNI lone gunman because if he draws Aldrich Ames or terrorism in the late war, I'm gonna lose on DEF CON. That was Junta was an expected headline on his part. Junta was an expected headline. He's electing to try to flip Central, which is kind of good for us, actually. Just kind of good for us. Just good for us. He's playing Salt for the influence. Pair. I'm going to coup Peru. I might be able to even up country count and dump South America for even. Or do I just want to... I'm going to need mill-ups at some point, so... And I rolled a 1. Shoot. Mm-hmm. We will, space Quagmire. Yeah, the one roll on the coup was unfortunate. Oh dear. Now I got big problems because war games is an issue now. No. One into Colombia. I'm going to further overprotect Pakistan, even though Asia's a scored region. Actually, no. No. We're going to Colombia, and I'm going to overprotect Iran. I just realized I'm going to have to probably event Muslim this turn as well, unless... Oh, yeah, he redrew Shea. Wow. Yeah, we're just going to dump it now. This can fall apart quickly. I might have to event and repair Muslim here. Because I'm going to have to UNI away lone gunman. Oh, IP war. Where's this going? Overprotecting Panama. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that. But I'll save that as a turn 7 play. Okay, realign time. Do we realign here? Zaire's even. I think I'm going to play into Saudi. I'm going to have to event Muslims, so at least want to make Muslim as painless as possible. Missile Envy, that was another unaccounted for card. Okay.
Surely one such lesson, learned by the world at great cost, is that aggression,
Okay.
becomes a contagious disease.
Let's see. Nuclear test ban summit. Fidel, tear down this wall. Which is very tempting. Question is, do I tear down this wall? And eventually plan on Chernobyl, or I don't need to headline CRG, so I think the headlines tear down this wall. Tear down this wall. Tear down this wall. Oh dear. That's not good. Yeah, so this is not starting to look. If he doesn't have ward games, I can event Chernobyl and just go crazy in Europe. I can event Chernobyl and go for a Euro control victory. I don't think he's got flower power. Yeah, he repairs France. So with that being said, I'm going to... Well, I got a couple options here. I can Kuzai... I'm going to hold Chernobyl for the next turn and maybe try to make a play in... So I got a few options here. I can play for Libya, or I can play for Africa. Even if he takes East Germany, I'm not going to lose Europe, and South's a scored region. I could coup Egypt and then cause problems in the Middle East again. So I think the play is to coup Egypt. And I rolled bad. I think the play is to coup Egypt. In hindsight 2020, maybe the play was to headline Chernobyl and then event tear down this wall. But I'm going on the assumption that he does not have war games because I would have almost bet money he would have cooed if he had had war games. So, arms race. Let's see what he does with this. Egypt into East Germany to repair that. So therefore, we are going to take Libya. Or, no. I'm going to actually retake Lebanon. 2 into Libya. And I'm going to overprotect West Germany. Protect West Germany. So he AI war. So he's going to overprotect everything in Europe, and wisely so. So actually, let's see. I'm going to event CRG. We're going to break South Africa. Throw 1 into Thailand to give him something to think about. Make him repair that. Make him repair that.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Repair that. The good news is that the 2 bad regions for us, Asia and South America, are already scored. Middle East has not been scored, and we're likely to get Dom, and I'm probably going to end up overprotecting Libya. Let's see, Latin American death crisis. Repair that. So, play 1 to Indonesia and overprotect Libya. Protect Libya. 1 to Indonesia. To even up country count in Asia. And he drops Middle East for 4. Okay. So I'm going to send Mr. Castro to space. And I'm going to be able to headline peak, which is nice. Headline peak. So I'm going to hold Chernobyl. We're going to op Summit and Iran Contra. So that's a little unfortunate that he drew Star Wars. So I believe IP War's gone, so I'm going to overprotect the 1 Asia country that I have that he has access to. And then I'm going to look for some place to tap turn 3 on my last turn, on turn 7 rather. Tap turn 7. And he's going to give me Panama Canal, so I'll tap Venezuela. Tap Venezuela. Okay, so I've drawn war games, which is a good thing. I've drawn Red Scare, I've drawn ABM. So I've got options here. I could Red Scare Purge. I think I might Red Scare Purge, hold Chernobyl a second turn. Although Vietnam is a bad event for me at this point because of Vietnam. I'm glad I've drawn war games, so problem is I have both Africa cards. I'm going to have problems in Africa this turn if he doesn't have Africa, but I'm going to see what he headlines here, and then we'll see. He's going to headline terrorism, which I'm okay with as long as he doesn't pull Chernobyl. So I'm going to purge. And he pulled war games. Okay. That was unfortunate. I've drawn Ortega as well, but I don't have any ops in Cuba, so I'm not worried about a DEFCON loss at this point. Reagan bombs Libya, which is meaningless. Okay, so he's going for... That's telegraphs Africa. So...
The totalitarian world produces backwardness because it does such violence to the spirit, thwarting the human impulse to create, to enjoy, to worship.
Counter coup. If he doesn't repair Venezuela or all Chernobyl, South America, I don't think I'm going to win a Euro control victory at this point. You know, and hindsight 2020, I should have headlined Chernobyl turn 8 and then tear down this wall. But it is what it is. Okay, so realign. Where's this going? Venezuela. 2 points. Okay, so I'm probably going to hold Vietnam revolts. So Africa's even. Overprotect that.
Праздником всех вас, дорогие товарищи! Пусть он укрепит нас в стремлении сделать все ради возрождения Родины, идти вперед по пути
200 Uruguay threatening to coup and even up country count. I'm just trying to hold off playing. What I'm trying to do is hold off playing into Africa for as long as possible. So he spaces East European unrest. So with that in mind, do I coup Cameroon to set up a real? Probably just going to event and I'm just going to event and repair South African unrest. And I made a huge mistake, and I had Chernobyl, and I completely wasted Chernobyl, and that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm also going to have to probably event and repair Portuguese as well. North Sea oil, which realign. Shoot. Well, shoot. Ah, yep. I think he's got Africa.
because it does such violence to the spirit,
Unfortunate.
to create,
Unfortunate.
enjoy, to worship.
He's going to take his freak shot at Costa Rica. Big deal. Big deal. I probably should have just flipped Angola right back, but just flipped. Oh, Cambridge 5. Yep. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Realign again. Africa has become a huge problem.
Because it does such violence to the spirit.
Well, that was a little fortunate there.
To create, to enjoy, to worship.
I gotta give him that anyway. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, if he's got it, he's got it. He's got it, he's got it. Alright, so Africa is a problem. Asia's going to be a problem because I got to play Vietnam. Although I'm probably just going to throw both ups into Vietnam. That way I don't lose Vietnam. Although he's still got the China card, so he's going to be able to flip it. Then a lot's going to depend on this turn 10. This could still go either way. I would give the slight edge to the Soviet player on the board, but it's going to be very close. And maybe I draw some good events on the last turn like VOA or grain sales, or obviously terrorism's out. Aldrich Ames would be completely bad. At least Lone Gunman's out of the deck, and so I don't have to worry about DEFCON Suicide. Now, I am going to be able to headline peak on turn 7, so. And War Games is gone, so I don't have to worry about a War Games loss. So socialist governments overprotects Thailand, and so I'm just going to throw 2 ups into Vietnam, knowing that I'm going to have to trigger it. And I have no cards left, so this is it. This is for all the marbles. Turn 10. We'll see how this plays out.
Мы наследники великой цивилизации, и сейчас от всех и каждого зависит, чтобы она возродилась к новой, современной и достойной жизни.
Okay, Reformer goes to space. Liberation Theology is annoying, but I don't have to play it. U2 is a VP. AWACS is going to be Ops. Brush War's real nice to draw on this turn. Korean Air is a nice card to draw as well. I could bear trap him later in the turn, so I might be able to win this game yet. I've got some events that I can really make work for me. And we'll have to see what he headlines. If he headlines a DEFCON, for some reason he headlines a DEFCON lower. Okay, Yuri and Samantha, that seems reasonable. Question is, do I want the ops from Korean Air, or do I want to lower the DEFCON and deny him a coup? I think that's more important, especially holding Brush War, and I've got Bear Trap, and I can cause him problems later, so I think this is the play. Bear Trap. Brush War probably goes into South America or Central, given Africa's a lost cause. Asia, I could actually flip Asia for Dom at this point with a good Brush War. But a late Bear Trap with a tap of Thailand or even a tap of Japan would actually be good for me. So, Cuban Missile Crisis. Let's see where this goes. Cuba, of course, and he's going to guard against the real line. That being said, we will... Oh no, I can't tap Panama because he's got it overprotected. Okay. So... what we will do instead... is tap Cuba and make him react. Tap Cuba. React. Two, three, four, five, six, seven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So an AR-7 tap of Japan's gonna... Well, Formosa's not in effect, so the AR-7 tap of Japan, I mean, it's gonna be a VP, so the Brush War is gonna go elsewhere. So I'm probably not going to do that late tap, but Pershing 2, which he's opsing. Okay. So we will continue to we'll tap Cuba one more time.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
It's going to give him something to continue to think about here. So I'm holding Liberation Theology. Reformers going to space. So I probably got 4 remaining clean ops. Oh, he had Glasnost. Oh, now he's just going to overprotect everything, of course. So at this point, people, my video cut out, and I don't know what happened with my video, but just to tell you what happened the rest of the game, I successfully hit a brush war at Brazil, but it only evened up South America. Then he was bear trapped and got out immediately. Then he last turn China carded me out of Asia, and that was the game. He ended up winning in final scoring. So this was all in all, this was a really fun game to play. I learned a lot from this guy. And this goes to show you that my level of Twilight struggle play is it's good at times, but there's other times when it leaves something to be desired. That's why my rating's in the 1600. I do know that I've got the potential to be at least a 1700 rated player. I just got to clean up some of these other mistakes, and that's only going to come with experience. This is only my first year playing any competitive Twilight struggle, so to be able to hang in there with some of these tough opponents is really good. Things I would have done better different this game would have been, I think the way I handled Chernobyl was horrible this game. I had the perfect ingredients to make a huge play in Europe on turn 8, and I didn't do it for whatever reason. I think I was scared of the Africa situation, that I was going to lose out in Africa and actually lose on a VP track. And then the second turn, I probably should have gone after it again. Instead, I ran into a terrorism headline. He pulled a 4-up card. I was hoping he would pull something else, and then I just didn't have a prayer at that point. And yeah, so all in all, this was a game that I think should have been... I could have won if I'd made some different plays, and maybe in the mid-war, the way I handled Africa turn 5 was bad too. I should have probably handled that a little differently. But the turn 4 turn was absolutely horrible. I had no ops, and I got red scared on top of that, and I was holding blockade since turn 3, and it took me 2 turns to be able to ditch blockade. So I had some things go against me, but I kept it close. This game could have gone either way. I think one turning point in this game was the fact that he drew De Gaulle in the reshuffle, which completely flipped Europe, even though I was in good shape in Europe for a while. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think I could have done differently and how you would have played this game differently. But yeah, I'm now at 1-7. I'm going to have to start winning some games in a hurry if I'm to avoid relegation, which seems like a foregone conclusion. But a lot of the opponents that I have not played yet are also sitting at 1 win only, so maybe I can beat a couple of those guys and avoid relegation. So knock on wood for that. I don't know when my next post will be. I don't know if it's going to be an OTSL or an RTSL game, but stay tuned for that. Until then, this is David.Amidon signing off. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.